my channel. I hope you're doing well. And welcome to the very first summer reading vlog of the year. I'm so happy and excited to be filming this and to be getting back into reading again. I've been going through a pretty big book slump, but recently I've kind of started to get back into it, and I'm really excited to read some of the books that we have for today's video. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? I am currently almost finished with this book. This is Once Upon a Broken Heart. It's a series. I think it's a trilogy. It is a young adult book written by Stephanie Garber, and I'm 350 pages in, and there's like 408, so I literally only have like 50 pages left. This is a cute little romantic fantasy book. We follow our main character Evangeline. She is heartbroken because the boy that she loves is actually betrothed to marry her stepsister, and so in order to try to stop the marriage, she goes to the Prince of Hearts, who is a fate, and asks him to stop the wedding, which he ends up doing, but she also ends up getting turned into stone, and then she also owes this prince now 3 kisses. Whoever he kisses turns to stone, so she's doing this in like terms of helping him out so that way he can get different things going on. We don't really know exactly what's happening. We know there's a prophecy. We know that she's probably the one who's going to fulfill it. I literally have like 50 pages left. I'm on page 350, and there's 408 pages in here. So I'm gonna try to finish this book up today. I'm actually gonna go read it out in my little butterfly garden that I have on my porch. It's just a tiny little thing, and you know, a few little flowers that I have planted, but I thought that'd be fun to kind of do. It's Sunday today, so go sit out on the porch in the sun, finish this book up, and see what we think about it. So I'm really excited to get back into it and to get reading again. This was actually recommended to me by my sister-in-law after I started going through a pretty tough breakup, and it's been really fun to read because so far, like, the romance hasn't been anything that's like hit me really hard, if that makes sense. You're starting to see little twinkles of romance, and I think we know that her and somebody else are gonna fall in love, but we're not there yet, and we might not get there because there's only 50 pages left in this book, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited to get reading. Let's go ahead and get started. This book. So I'm confused, honestly. This book ended with like 3 different cliffhangers that were ones that I was completely not expecting. One of them was maybe kind of like a guaranteed like possibility throughout the whole thing. It has to do with the fate, the prince that she like made a deal with, so you kind of never know if he's fully like truly evil or a good guy. So that ending was not quite what I was expecting. The other ones, like, man, you honestly go up until like the last like 2 pages and you're like, okay, like things are starting to figure themselves out, and like you kind of think that you get resolution, and then all of a sudden you realize, no, you were wrong. So the fact that it ended the way it did, I just want to start reading the next book right away. Unfortunately, it is not quite yet ready for me at the library. I did reserve it a couple of days ago, but I am number 3 on the waiting list for that, so we are gonna have to wait. I like that there's a little bit of mystery in this book, and you don't really know exactly what's going on, so it really gives you a lot of time to really think about it, pick up on little clues throughout the whole thing and through the prophecies that are given and through just the way that she writes. I like it when a book is not just extremely predictable. This one was not extremely predictable, so very, very, very interesting for me, and I really, really enjoyed it. Honestly, I'm probably gonna give this a 4-star rating. I thought it was really good. I would definitely recommend it to people. I'm so glad that my sister-in-law recommended it to me. I also love when I can find books that don't have spice in them, and this one's like a cute little romance. Not really romance like the whole time, it's really more like action, thriller, fantasy type of thing with a little subplot of romance kind of weaved throughout. Obviously it's called Once Upon a Broken Heart, so we know that there's gonna be some romance in there. But the fact that it was just a good book and I wanted to keep reading and finding out what was gonna happen next on every single page, that's a great book for me. So 4 stars, probably one of the better books I've read this year, to be honest with you. So really, really happy about that. All right, it's time to get started working on the next book in this video. I'm actually so excited because, one, I've had a headache all day long and it finally has gone away, so I'm starting to feel a little bit better. But 2, we have to go pick up this book from the bookstore, which means we get to go do a little bit of book shopping. That's literally been me. That's literally been me. Have a little gift card to the bookstore. It's not in here. Oh shoot, where is it? I have found them. Let's go. What do you think? Is it gonna be this one? Is it gonna be this one? Could be this one. Awesome. Thank you. You too. We're back from our little Barnes & Noble run, and I'm excited to show you guys the book that we picked up because this author, I love her other 2 books. Today I picked up Ashley Poston's new book, Sounds Like Love. It looks like it's a super cheesy romance, and it probably is, to be honest with you, but in her other 2 books that I have read, The 7-Year Slip and A Novel Love Story, both books are based in the modern day world, like it's like we're living just as we are today, but then there's little elements of almost like magic in it that make it really interesting. In The 7-Year Slip, we experience time travel, and it's never really referenced. Like, she just like goes into her apartment one day and it turns into 7 years in the past. She doesn't go and try to figure out how that happens or anything like that. Like, it just is part of the book. And same with A Novel Love Story. She just one day ends up in a town that is completely blocked from the outside world, like they're living off on their own thing, and it's actually from books that she has read. So kind of like an alternate universe type of thing, but again, like it's never really fully like addressed as to why. So there's elements of magic in there, which is really, really fun, but it's still based in the modern day world. So I'm really hoping that this book is also the same way. I am a little interested to see how she's going to tie in like the music element, because I feel like books when they are musical, they just don't get the vibe across because you're reading it, you're not able to like hear or listen to it. Joni Lark has a secret. She's one of the most coveted songwriters in Los Angeles, and yet she can't write. There's an emptiness inside her and nothing seems to fill it. Then she hears it, a melody in her head, lyric less than half formed, and an alluring addictive voice to go with it, belonging apparently to a wry musician with an emptiness of his own. Surely he's a figment of Joni's overworked imagination. Then a very real man shows up in Vienna shores. He's arrogant and guarded and not at all like the sweet, funny voice in Joni's head, and he has a plan for breaking their inconvenient telepathic connection. Finish the song haunting them both and hope they don't risk their hearts or their secrets in the process. Ooh, so I think they're telepathic a little bit. It sounds like kind of what like the whole like magical element is in this one. Okay, I think I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to read it. I can't wait to start getting into this. I have a feeling that once I start reading this, it's going to be very hard for me to put down, as her other books were as well. So I'm excited to see what we think about it. You guys, it is currently almost midnight. It's 11:55. In case you needed proof. I actually just got home from a 10-mile long bike ride, which isn't actually that long in terms of biking, but it took us 3 hours. So I wasn't able to get too much reading done today, but I did get 42 pages in. So far we have met our main character. Her name is Joni, and Joni is a songwriter, and you find out very early on that she has just written a huge #1 hit for this woman named Willa, who I'm assuming is like a very famous singer in this world. She's at Willa's concert to kind of just support her song and to support her, and she ends up meeting this guy who used to be a famous singer in a boy band back in the day. She had a big crush on him, her friend had a big crush on him, and they end up kissing because they get on the kiss cam together, and then they kind of leave on a pretty sour note because he was kind of rude to her, she was kind of rude to him, whatever. She is now just flown back to her hometown, and she has started to hear a little bit of music, but then she realizes that whenever she hears that music, the radio's not on, like there's not like music going, it's just happening in her head. So that's where I think the little telepathic connection is starting to come into play a little bit, and I have a feeling that she's also going to, or that this guy is also going to be, he is going to be also listening to this music in his head. I have a feeling that they're the ones that are going to be connected. I'm actually going to go to bed, but we'll keep reading tomorrow and we'll see what we think. Well, my car won't start again. So while I wait for my friend to come over and jump in my car, I'm going to just sit down and read my book. Alright, it has been a few days, like 5 days probably, since I last checked in with you guys. I ended up going to Idaho for the 4th of July weekend. Idaho Falls actually has one of the biggest fireworks shows west of the Mississippi. It's like 18,000 shells or something like that for like, it's like a non-stadium show. Super, super fun. I did not get hardly any reading done, but when I got home, I was so tired that I literally just curled up in bed and I finished Sounds Like Love. Oh my God. gosh, you guys, this book, it's so good. Ashley Pauson's done it again. I love every book that she's written that I have read so far. I guess I've only read 3 of them now. And I was really worried because when you see this book, it talks about music. And I was kind of like, how are we going to be able to understand music if we can't listen to the song and the songs are going to be fictional? However, almost every song in here was a song that is like a current, like that we know. Like it's like a song like Taylor Swift or the Beach Boys or whatever, Elton John. There's only 2, well, I guess 3 songs that aren't real, that you don't actually know what they're talking about. And that is, one of them is a song that they are writing, and one is just a song referenced, and one is a song that she has written that has gone huge. And you don't really need to know those. Like, it's just like, they talk about the lyrics in there sometimes, so you kind of are able to read what they're talking about. I'm rambling, it literally makes no sense, I know. But it's just a cute book. Like, it's just cute. And I literally kept turning the pages, smiling and just giggling, because I feel like she writes character development really well. I feel like you understand the characters, and like, they're just so unique. Like, her storylines and plot lines are just very different because it has that weird touch of like magical realism in there. So it's like modern day worlds, but but they can read each other's minds, and they're trying to figure out what they can do to break that bond because they don't want to be in each other's minds, but then they end up realizing that they like each other and they want to be in each other's minds. And when that bond breaks, it's like, oh, what am I gonna do now? I do feel like the ending was a little bit rushed, I'll be honest. Like, it was just how everything like wraps up. You don't necessarily need to wrap it up in like a big, you obviously know when you read a romance book that it's going to be a big happy ending for the most part. And you do get a cute happy ending with this. Besides just the main storyline of the girl and this man that she's writing her song with, she also has a storyline of her mother who has dementia and is slowly losing her memory, which is really, really sad. Also hits close to home. I lost my grandmother about a year ago, next month, to dementia. So I understand like a lot of what she's going through in here. You also have her parents who are selling the business that they like grew up basically living in, and that she grew up, and this is the reason why she's a songwriter. Like, it's because of that theater that they own, and all of that is able to like be wrapped up really nice together. I feel like sometimes when you have so many storylines like that, it's really hard to explore and delve into like properly. I feel like she does a really good job of touching on them without going too in depth, but also not like just leaving things left off to the imagination. So I loved it. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I think it's so good and so cute. I would 100% recommend. Loved it. So glad I was able to purchase this and put this on my bookshelf now. I want to buy her other books that I love because I don't have any of them like in my house, and I think it'd be fun to grab a couple more of those. So very, very happy with this. The next book that I was planning on reading for the series was My Life with the Walter Boys, I think is what it's called. There's a show on Netflix. I've been watching it. It's really, really cute, and it's based off of a book series, or maybe just one book. And I am the next person up for it at the library on the wait list, but I have been sitting at that #1 spot for a very, very long time. I don't know when it's actually gonna get turned in for me to be able to read it. So I figured I can look for my bookshelf and try to pick a cute summer book that could be fun for me to read. A few books that immediately catch my eye. Very first one is one that I actually got during my Christmas countdown calendar, advent calendar. This one is called The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. It looks like it's like an Asian Chinese type of like, maybe like a historical fiction based off of the cover, but I just think it's very, very beautiful. Lots of pretty colors in there, flowers. So that is a fun option I think maybe we could potentially look into. I also have this one, which is The Messy Lives of Book People. This one just looks really, really interesting and fun, and I feel like that could be a fun little read for me. So that's an option. Let me see what else we can find. Another option is Dumping Billy. The other one that I may be considering is Goodbye Days. I literally don't even know really what any of these are about. Actually, I have one more. This is called Bone Gap by Laura Ruby. It's won a lot of awards, so maybe I'll pick this one. I don't know. I've got a good stack though right here of some books that I'm interested in and that I'd be interested in reading, so I'm gonna think about it. However, I'm kind of leaning towards, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Bone Gap. So we'll see. It is a very warm day, so we're gonna head over to the pool and get some reading done. I was not expecting to like Bone Gap as much as I have, but you guys, I have not put this book down since I picked it up. We are 150 pages in. We have about 150-ish left. It's about 300 pages. And speechless, which I know is kind of silly because on Goodreads it actually does not have that high of a rating. I believe it has like 3.5, 3.4 stars. However, on the book you do see that there is a National Book Award finalist like medal on here, as well as an award. This is the Michael Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature by the American Library Association. And what this book reminds me of, if you have ever read the book The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, I think is who it's by, like that book, life-changing. I mean, my goodness, that book is so crazy and so intense, and you kind of get a little bit of similar vibes in here. We follow our main character, Finn. He's not like orphaned, but his mother has basically run off with this guy that she married, and she sends them $10 checks on their birthday. So his older brother, Sean, is taking care of him, who is just waiting, I think, for Finn to get old enough to go to college, and then he can go off and do his own thing. And you very quickly find out that there is a woman named Rosa who was Sean's girlfriend, but also maybe Finn was involved. It's kind of a little blurry right there. She has gone missing. And you also go into different chapters. There's a dual point of view in this book where you split between Finn and Rosa, the woman who's been missing. At least so far, we could get into different point of views potentially later on in the book, which I would love. But Rosa has been kidnapped, and she has been kidnapped by a guy who loves her, who's obsessed with her and trying to get her to fall in love with him. And that part is kind of a little weird because she kind of just wakes up and she's in different places each time. He is obviously very, very wealthy, and you are kind of getting a little bit of a backstory with her. Her story doesn't quite make sense to me, but I'm sure it's going to all come together. But at some point, she was introduced to the two boys, Finn and Sean, and she kind of became their sister and wife in a sense, and really helped them and really made the town, which is called Bone Gap, like a lot of people loved her, a lot of people fell in love with her, and then she went missing. We don't know all the details about her disappearance. We do know that a lot of people do blame Finn, our main character, for not the disappearance, but somehow he wasn't involved, but he saw what happened, but I don't think he was able to fully like describe the guy who kidnapped her, and so everyone kind of gets upset with him because he was the only witness, I believe. You're like cheering for this boy who literally is just going through crap. I mean, he just has the worst life imaginable right now, and yet he is, you know, trying to keep his head up and just get through life so he can go to college and try to become a normal person and move on. However, I do think that we are getting to the point where something's going to happen. I believe that he just met the kidnapper again, and that is where I ended off when I had to start working this morning. So we'll see what happens. I actually have a kickball tournament tonight. My friends have a little kickball team, and we signed up for one for a event called Steel Days. I'm really excited to go tonight. It's going to be very, very long though if we continue to win, so I'm going to bring my book with me, and if we have little breaks or gaps in between games, I'm going to try to read and just kind of enjoy the summer night. I'm hoping honestly that I can get this done in the next like day or two, because at this point I'm reading so much and I like it that I just want to get it done and figure out what happens. I'm so intrigued, so intrigued. Nice. We're on break from kickball real quick, and we found this carnival. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm a little confused. I've either missed something or there's something else going on in here that hasn't quite been revealed to us yet. We have less than 100 pages left, so I feel like if there's gonna be a big twist in here, like it needs to happen soon so we can like really figure it out and be able to grasp it and understand it. We finally got into another point of view with the boy Finn. It's like this girl named Petey that's like his love interest throughout the whole book. We get a couple chapters with her point of view, and she's starting to realize, or starting to let us know, that she thinks that there's something else going on, or something that he's hiding. She kind of alludes to the fact that she thinks that he's hiding something a couple of different times. Yeah, okay, so for example, I'm gonna read a little part of the chapter here. When she's starting to realize that maybe something's up with this guy, maybe there's a secret or something. What had Darla said that Finn didn't recognize her with the dyed red hair? She remembered watching Finn sign her yearbook, how instead of scanning the page of his own photograph, he'd found his name first, counted from left to right to get to his picture. The swarm at the diner weeks and weeks ago, how Finn had mixed up Derek Rude with Frank, how distracted he always seemed, how he could never quite describe the man who stole Rosa, at least not in the way that other people would. But his vision was fine. There were some people who were bad with faces, but... She stood up abruptly, fingers itching for a keyboard, but there was no keyboard here. She had a cheap phone and the internet was slower than smoke signals, but she searched anyway. She stood in Finn's room with the kittens purring and the musky scent of Finn in her nose, fingers flying, lump rising, hot tears starting to spill over as she followed the threads, found what she never wanted to find. She stared at the tiny screen, trying to make herself accept it for what it was, for what it meant. Then she went back into the living room and opened one of the albums. She pulled a few photos and tucked them into her pocket. She replaced the album, straightened the spine so that no one would be able to tell she had been here. What did she find? Like, what did she find? Is he actually dead and this is like an imposter? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. It's crazy. It's crazy. So something's happening. I'm going to for sure finish this tonight. I'm going to make some food real quick, probably take a shower and jump into some cozy PJs. And then we're going to spend the rest of the night reading this and figuring out what's going on because I don't know what's going on. Like, something's going on with this boy. And we don't know. We don't know. So, let's get started. Our dinner today, even though it's actually almost 10 o'clock, we have a chopped elote salad that I mixed with some beef steak that I teriyaki glazed, and it is so good. Look how beautiful it is. First off, like, so many fun colors. I also added some edamame in there too. Weird. He's like talking to the animals. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That makes sense. That makes sense. It is the next day. I have finished Bone Gap and I finally had some time to think about it. I'm so confused. Also currently watching some Katie is reading vlogs. She is doing her summer ween reading vlog right now. It's an hour and 12 minutes long. It's such a long video. I'm so excited to keep watching it. I'm trying to decide if I should do a summer ween series or a video reading spooky books in the summertime. I think I kind of want to do that. I have a book already that I'm also reading. I haven't talked about it in this video, I don't think. But I'm reading Cultish right now, which is so interesting. I'm only 30 pages in, but man, I'm fascinated by cults. I don't know what it is. I just think they're so interesting. So maybe that's a red flag. I don't know. I have some beef with this book right now. I actually do, because the whole time, the whole like first 250 pages, you're reading and you're kind of getting a little bit of a backstory from one of the girls or one of the point of views, and then you're also in current day with the other point of views, and you're just it's kind of just like building like this world, and you kind of are getting like, you're just reading like a story about a town. And the whole time you know that this girl Rosa has gone missing and nobody knows where, and then all of it, and everyone's really confused that the boy Finn like couldn't describe the man. And then right when like things start to get crazy, you think that this boy is hiding something because his girlfriend is like snooping through his stuff. She realizes and he realizes that he has face blindness, and that never fully gets like completely addressed. Like she starts describing to him like, hey, like who is in this photo, and he was able to tell her who was in certain photos based off of like other characteristics, like, oh, this person I can tell they have long hair and they have certain, like the shape of their arms is a certain way that I know who this person is. But he was never able to like tell by their face, if that makes sense. And that was kind of just like one quick chapter, and then they moved on. And then the next thing we know, he's over at his neighbor's house, and his neighbor starts telling him about some magical stuff that's happening and how he can go and find this girl. And then he just like runs through his cornfields, kind of goes into a different world almost, and like very, very quickly, like within like 2 or 3 chapters, he saves the girl, they defeat this evil man, and then they come back. Like it all happens so fast, and it just doesn't make like, I just wish that like this book was longer almost, so that way we could really delve into what happened, because it was literally like within like 2 or 3 chapters of all this happening, and then it goes back to like, oh yeah, now he's back and she's back and everything's good and dandy and we're all done. What? Are you kidding me? Like the whole book is so good and you're reading it and you're like, this is amazing, fascinating, and all of a sudden there's like this whole new element and dimension of a world and it doesn't even get explored. Like it really doesn't even fully get explored. There are a lot of callbacks and references to things that you read about earlier that I didn't necessarily pick up on when I was like reading them the first time, and then you are like, oh yeah, that was mentioned, like that was a clue. So there were a lot of things that were kind of mentioned and were clues for you to pick up on, but I didn't know that they were clues to pick up on until they were like referenced later on in the book. So that was kind of interesting. I feel like if I would have known that going into it, I would have maybe tried to put more like 2 and 2 together and like really tried to think about things when I was reading them the first time. So if you decide to read this book, I would do that. I would go and like try to pick things out and say, okay, like that's interesting. Do you remember when this happened and this happened, this happened? Maybe that's what's going on. Still really, really cute. This also is a book that is like based in the summertime. And so I love that we were able to do that for the summer reading vlog, the first one of the season. And with that, you guys, this video is now over and complete. If you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment down a little book emoji and let me know if there's any books that you are reading or that you would recommend for me to read for the summertime. And I will see you all in my next video very, very soon.